This program is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is Home Talk USA with Michael King, where we will discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Michael King is a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and the author of Contracting with the King. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton. Discover what's next in the home improvement industry and explore new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world. As Michael King and Rita Crompton talk to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, we proudly present Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hey, welcome, America. That's right. I am back along with my co-host, Miss Rita Crompton, the Inventor Lady herself. Rita, how you been doing? Man, it's so great to be back.
It is wonderful to be back. We have been fine here, working hard to get ready for the hardware show.
Well, there's a lot going on, Rita. As you know, we're preparing for the International Builders Show / hardware show / kitchen and bath. That's going to be coming up in a couple weeks. So we're going to be hopping that big bird and taking our show on the road, huh?
Yes, we are, sir.
But tell us a little bit. This is our first show of the year, and we're excited. And tell us a little bit about what we can expect on the Invent America show coming up in 2023.
Well, we're looking at, like today, after it being so cold over the last few weeks, we're going to talk about products that help you get your house ready or deal with the inclement weather. And that just seemed like a fun one when I was thinking about it. It was freezing cold here. But what we're going to talk about is, sometimes we'll have a theme on the inventions that are used around the house, and sometimes we'll be dealing with a problem or a solution that inventors face, like getting both these guests today are going to the National Hardware Show. So we're kind of focused on what their expectations are and the people that they want to meet.
So let's talk about some of the exciting new technologies that you're going to be introducing along with the two that's going to be on the show today.
So we've got everything from the newest, coolest ice cream scoop to fixing a fence that is starting to drag. So many different products, and that's one of the really great things about this show is that it covers so many industries. And I always tell people, it's like, if you think of your product as being a big box store product, the Targets, the Home Depots, the Bed Bath & Beyond, then this is a show for you because so many of them they've got a very narrow focus, and this one really has something for everyone.
Well, let's talk about the Inventor Lady herself, the theme and the premises behind what you do, and maybe you can help our audience a little bit. The young inventors out there that might have an idea, and maybe you can walk them through a little cheat sheet right quick and, maybe talk about some easy ways getting their product to the market.
Well, what I do is help inventors get from, I have an idea, like I've got a belly button, to where I can get to the point where I can license it to someone else. And everybody's got a belly button, but it doesn't mean that I can sell it no matter how cute it is. We need certain things in place. So we need to get a search done. We need a registered patent attorney involved. We need a good functioning proof of concept prototype. And so a lot of what I do is point people into the right directions, so that they're not just scrambling trying to find somebody listed on the internet, because that can be a real disaster. You know that. And so getting things done properly gives us a better chance of then getting a good licensing deal in place, because they're going to ask me a few questions right off the bat for a licensing deal. And if I can help the inventor get through those steps better, all right, we've got a better chance at licensing. And a licensing deal means somebody else is going to make it, sell it, and send you a check. They're basically renting the right to use your intellectual property, and that's why filing the patent with a registered patent attorney is so important.
Well, we have 3 guests lined up. Can you maybe give us a brief on all 3 guests?
I certainly can. Jeff Gerhart invented a new type of snow shovel. I'll let him tell you more about that. Ted Butterworth invented a way of helping to clean your pipes out so that, this cold weather, the water doesn't freeze and rupture the pipes. And Michael Miller is our industry expert. He had helped license a lot of things that went into the Home Depots.
Wow.
So he worked with I worked with the inventor representing the inventor. He represented the company. So we worked a lot together.
I got you. So we got a full show coming up, 3 new guests, and I know you have a whole bunch of guests lined up, coming up in the upcoming weeks. So we're going to be all over the spectrum here, right, Rita?
It is, and that's what makes it so interesting.
Wow. But I tell you, we're excited to launch our 2023 show and part of Home Talk USA, the Invent America segment of the show. And I guess the whole purpose is that if we could provide that education information, we basically can save the inventor a lot of money from the mistakes that they're going to possibly make. It's just hard to come up with that blueprint if you really don't know the steps, right, Rita?
It is, and there's actually a blueprint or a document on my website, inventorlady.com. It's called the Inventor's Galaxy Guide. It's a short, easy read, but it walks through all the steps. And I get inventors that's like, well, they're trying to make decisions on the process before they have all the information. Yeah. And that's tough. It's like you make your business decisions based on the information you gathered at each step. And so you need to know how the pendulum swings, and that's what the Inventor's Galaxy Guide talks about. It's free. You just download it, take a look at it. It takes about 30 minutes, and then you really can ask better questions. And you learn in there that, people will say, well, I become like your partner. No, if they're sending an invoice, they're not your partner. They are a service provider. Well, how do you deal with those service providers? What should you expect when you're dealing with them? And those are some of the things that I help inventors deal with sooner rather than later, so we have a better chance. We try to save money, time, and, irritation to your stomach. Before we take a short break, the number one Twitter and texts I get and emails I get, basically, the Invent America show is exploding, and people just want to know how to get on the show. And again, I want to stress this: we do not charge our guests. Nobody is paying a fee to be on our radio program. So, but what is the steps to get onto the radio program? Again, they can go to inventorlady.com, and there's a little button that you push. It says, if you want to be on the show, you fill out the form. It comes back to me. I've had people are starting to fill out those forms, so we'll be getting them on the show. Probably in February we'll start. We've pretty much got a full itinerary for January. But now some of those people that are filling out the forms, we'll place them based on the topics that we have. But I appreciate it when they come in, because that means that I've got options when I'm getting ready to go and say, okay, this is our topic. Who's out there for us? But it's very easy to get to. All right, Rita, well, hold on. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with our first guest when we come off a break. Mr. Jeff Gerhart will be on our Invent America segment of the show. This is Home Talk USA, though, streaming live on the World Wide Web at HomeTalkUSA.com. Don't forget to check out our television show at HomeTalkTV.com, HomeTalkTV.com. And if you have an idea of a guest or a topic you want to for us to discuss on the show, it's very simple. You heard it. Just go to HomeTalkUSA.com or InventorLady.com. All right, we got to step away. Got to pay some bills right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network, streaming live on the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. I'm the Cajun Man alone with Miss Rita Crompton. We'll be right back. Yay!
USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HometalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HometalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Yeah, hey, welcome back to the only home improvement show dedicated to you, the American consumer. Don't forget, we are streaming live on the World Wide Web at HometalkUSA.com. That's HometalkUSA.com. Also on the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. Along with my guests and my co-host, Rita Crompton. Rita, the Inventor Lady herself. Let's talk about Jeff Gerhart. He's our next guest, right?
He is our next guest, and really glad to have Jeff on today. It's our first Monday back, first time back recording after the holiday. So, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Great to be included. I appreciate it.
So you have been in the IT industry for 42 years, worked for companies like IBM and Hewlett-Packard back in the day, and so many different things, and then you invented a new type of shovel.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a big twist from doing IP stuff, but tell us a little bit, Jeff, about what is Skweeg-lt and the cool name. How did you come up with the name?
Actually, my wife came up with that. So just to kind of set the problem domain a little bit, what problem was I trying to solve? You know, I live at 7,400 feet in Colorado, and we get these snowfalls that some are pretty deep, but some are just 4 to 6 inches. So I wanted something that I could move snow quickly. Started out snow, and it moves other materials as well, but started to move snow quickly, and I wanted to be quiet because I'm an early riser and don't want to wake the neighbors or my kids and that kind of thing. And I didn't want to lift it with a shovel. And so that's kind of how it was born. In simple terms, what it is it's just basically a handle attached to a blade. And this blade is a molded material with an attached rubber skirt that follows the contour of the blade. It's about 3 or 4 feet wide, depending on which version you get. The blade has forward leading edges that are articulated at an angle on each end of the blade, and there's a curved edge at the top that basically curves forward as well, that kind of trap material in those leading edges in the curve to keep it, centered as you push it along.
Right. So my understanding when I've seen it working is that, when you've got dips in your concrete or you've got, seams that it doesn't jar you. This flexes over things, so it makes it easier to move.
Yeah, exactly right. It flexes and twists, so it's made out of this molded material is very flexible. If you think of in the old days when we were kids, we had these recurved bows, that had the string and the arrows and all that, and it flexes both directions. So that,
excellent.
Again, if you run into an expansion joint or if you touch a car tire, a parked car in your driveway while you're pushing snow, it flexes. It doesn't injure the operator. It doesn't jar you.
Excellent. And I thought that was just wonderful. So during your process now of inventing and getting through these early steps, patent pending, and now you're going to the National Hardware Show with us to show off for the first time, what has been your biggest challenge?
I'd say there are two. Basically balancing my day job with my family and other responsibilities while developing this proof of concept and then refining it into a prototype. And I combated that with basically just scheduling the time and not giving myself the grace to not necessarily be tied to accomplishing certain tasks, but just being able to basically think about it. And I got stuck. I'd just make notes as where I was and then come back to it later on. So the other thing that you've helped out a lot with actually is my own fear and self-doubt. Is this idea a good one? Is it patentable? Do I have time and money to use it? And basically, combated that with basically, I know I grow in adversity. So for the other inventors out there, that sometimes you just need to kind of lead into an uncomfortable situation and basically go all in. And that's the way you accomplish great things. And then you put yourself in an environment like you provide, Rita, where you have the Inventors Roundtable, so I can hear about other inventors and what they're doing, avoid mistakes that they've made. And then you also give me access to resources like patent search, attorneys, and just the National Hardware Show. So, you work through it with that.
And I appreciate you mentioning the Inventors Roundtable. We've got one coming up, and we have two every month, and I appreciate it when you sign up, because now you've got two things. You can help the new inventors, but you can also then talk to the more experienced inventors. So it's great to be able to go to those local meetings, even if they're just virtual.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Jeff, this is the Cajun man here, Mr. King. One of the biggest decisions you do have to make is after you're ready to market and get your product to market is whether or not to, manufacture it yourself, distribute yourself, or license your product. And it is sometimes a decision. What direction, again, you want it to go is pretty much you want to license your product, right?
Yeah, that's correct. At this juncture, I think my prototype is a good concept. I've used it for years, and it works very well. But I think a licensee might be able to give it a manufacturer's touch, so to speak, and clean it up a bit and make it better. At this juncture in my life, I'd also like to be more in turn of a passive income versus I don't want to spin up a manufacturing arm and distribution and all that. And I want to learn a little bit by going through this process as to how much work all that is and maybe get a feel for it. And also, I think, and this is, we talked about my reasons for doing things, but there's, to get this product out to people to actually, which I think it would help them a lot. I think you need somebody like a licensee who might have a broader range and a broader impact with the product to actually get it out to people who could actually use it and benefit from it. So,
well, we got to take a short break there. Some music. Rita, how can we reach Jeff?
His products will be listed on the Inventor Lady website, so go to inventorlady.com and you'll be able to find the product listed there.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much on behalf of me and Rita. We definitely want to thank you. And are you going to be at the National Hardware Show also?
I will be. Look forward to meeting you.
All right, my buddy. Well, thank you so much. That was Mr. Jeff Gerhart, the inventor himself on Skweeg-lt. And we're going to take a short break. Got to step away. Got to pay some bills, Rita. We got to keep the lights on.
That's right.
All right, you listen to Home Talk USA right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network, streaming live all over the World Wide Web on the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. I'm the Cajun Man. I'll be right back along with Rita Crompton. Yay!
Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
All right, welcome back to the show. That's right, the only radio program dedicated to you, the American consumer. All right, Rita, I tell you, Mr. Jeff was a great guest, and I'm excited for this Skweeg-lt. It sounds like this is going to be a really good product, right?
Oh, it does. When I saw it the first time, I thought, okay, now you got something.
Now, who's our next guest?
Our next guest is Ted Butterworth, and he has been in the lawn sprinkler industry for over 40 years.
Whoa.
And when they got to the point where they were doing 80% service in the sprinkler industry, they needed a better way of doing it, and that's what his invention does. And you know what? Over the hundreds of years that we've been inventing, the best inventions were from people working in the field and doing exactly what we talked about earlier on the show.
All right, Einstein's on the line right now.
Ted, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
So my question for you then, and to start out, is to tell our audience a little bit about what Bafflecap does. How did you come up with it, and what does it do?
Well, when you drain a sprinkler system inside, there's many possibilities of how the pipe is plumbed into the basement, if it's plumbed properly or not. And what this device does actually it simplifies it. It's a 4-step process where you take a chore that could take, 5-10 minutes to do, even 15, depending on how long the run is. This device actually cuts that time down into seconds. So it just alleviates a lot of headache and makes it a lot easier on the homeowner or the professional.
So with what's just gone on the last month in this country, this is a perfect time for you to be at the National Hardware Show showing your product, because just where I live, there were a lot of people with the frozen pipes and the issues. So how does it help? At what point does a homeowner look at doing this weather system prevention with your product?
Well, generally, in Colorado, where I'm from, we'll turn our systems on in April and turn them off in October. And when you turn the system off, you have to find that valve for your sprinkler system in your basement. And lots of times that valve is stuck in the drywall with a 4x4 opening, and you're trying to get a bucket or a catch basin underneath that valve so you don't get water dripping all over your insulation and so forth. This device actually attaches to the waste port. You can walk away, go upstairs, outside, open up your lower test cock, and it automatically just starts draining right down into the bottle.
Amazing. Honestly, I did not know that my outdoor system was connected to my indoor system, but, now I do. Now I'll be more careful.
Well, it also depends on you have an outside tap and an inside tap. This works for the inside tap, for the one on the inside of the house, yes.
And it's nice to, make sure, because there were homes around here that had their water, their pipes frozen. And, I don't think that everybody realizes how vulnerable they are to this problem, because we live in Tennessee, and you were talking about Colorado, but you can have issues with pipes freezing a lot further south than just Colorado.
Oh, yes. Oklahoma still freezes.
Parts of Texas?
Yes.
So they had their own problems last year. So when we go to the National Hardware Show coming up, you want to be able to license this intellectual property.
Well, licensing, I do have a patent on it. What I'd like to do is start marketing it and get into some big box stores and have some feedback from some consumers and other professionals would be great.
So when we go to the show, then you're really looking to meet anybody and everybody that can give you feedback, give you connections to then the True Values, the Ace Hardwares, the Home Depots, for purchasing the product, because you're going to be able to then manufacture and provide the product, but you're also not opposed to licensing it.
Correct.
So you're really, you've got the best of all worlds when it comes to, you're looking to talk to everybody who walks up and is breathing oxygen.
I would like to show some light, for this product, yes.
Well, yeah, this is Mr. King, the Cajun Man. Yeah, so you haven't really made that decision yet. It depends what direction you want to go. So you've got to kind of let it flow out and see with direction whether or not you want to go ahead and distribute, manufacture it yourself, or license it yourself. So you're kind of still on the border about that, right?
Yes. I mean, whatever would help me, I would like to definitely have a company help me on the marketing and the sales side. Yeah.
It is a dilemma, and it is a question you do have to ask yourself. And what I try to do is help people also, along with Rita, to say, if it just depends on, like companies and products that maybe are a one-trick pony, maybe they might want to consider, a license agreement. But if you plan on expanding your line, sometimes it would make sense to do it yourself. But if you're going to only be a one-trick pony, the numbers will tell you you prefer, less headaches is just to receive a residual check. But it's but hey, that's a decision that you're going to allow it to play out. But hey, we're out of time, Ted Butterworth. Rita, how can we reach Ted?
His products, again, will be listed on my website. So all you've got to do is be able to go and pick the icon for Bafflecaps and click on it, and it will take you right to Ted's information.
Well, Ted, thank you for being our guest, all right?
Well, thank you. I really do appreciate it.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing Ted at the National Hardware Show also in Vegas coming up. And, Rita, I tell you, we're going to have another guest, another topic. Who are we going to have next coming up? Rita?
Michael Miller is going to be our next guest, and he is the one that he used to work for a company called Danco, and he would have then been the one to license Ted's product to get it into the Home Depot.
All right. Well, great. We'll take a short break. We'll step away behind the famous Golden Hammer microphone along with my co-host and sidekick, Miss Rita Crompton, the Inventor Lady herself. We're going to be right back. Yay! We'll pass a good time here.
USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HometalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HometalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
All right, welcome back to the only home improvement show dedicated to you guys, the American consumer. This is the Invent America segment of our show, where we talk to inventors all across this great country with my co-host and sidekick, the Inventor Lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Rita, wow, the show is, what a first show of the year, and we've had some good guests so far, you know?
We have, and there are so many really good inventors out there that they're excited, and they have got a product that is going to make life better for everybody. And Michael Miller, our next guest, is kind of a different side of that, and he's a different side of what I do. Where I help inventors get teed up, I met Michael because he was working for the companies to bring new products into the marketplace from the company's point of view. And so he did that for about as long as I've been doing what I'm doing, but he was also on the board of directors for the United Inventors Association, so he worked on that side of it as well. He's been a speaker at the National Hardware Show and the International Houseware Show. So he has been doing this for a long time, and he sees it a little bit more from the company's point of view for licensing. And I thought he would be a perfect guest today because both of the previous guests They want to be able to license their intellectual property. But Michael is going to be joining us in our booth this year for the first time, really then working to make some of those contacts for the inventors there. And, of course, you're going to be in and out of our booth on a regular basis, so certainly wanted to have the chance to introduce you two gentlemen if you hadn't already met.
Yeah, well, great. So, Mike, let me ask you this right quick, and obviously I want to jump in here because we're getting the other side of the story, you know, the end result of all these inventors that really are looking to get a distributor, manufacturer, or of their product. And like I told them, you know, the biggest decision they have to make is whether or not they want to have a license agreement or if they want to manufacture the product themselves and distribute the products. And they're both, right? They both have pros and cons, right?
Oh, my gosh, absolutely, yes. And it really usually comes down to what kind of resources the inventor has and what kind of timeline they're on. That's really the key. And once, like you said, both of them have very much pros and cons. Generally, I would say for most people, the licensing route is probably the best route to go, and also the one that's not going to burn through all your finances.
So my question for you is that when licensing then is the goal, what is the most important step for an inventor to focus on early on so that they know they're going to be teed up to be something that you want to take a look at?
Absolutely. The number one thing, and actually I will say it's the number one thing that I see most inventors not doing very well, and that's the research. It's boring, and it requires an awful lot of work, in many cases much more work than actually coming up with the product and prototyping and all of that. And so when I say research, what is the competitive products that you are going to be going up against out in the marketplace? What is what are the products that your customers that you're looking to sell these products through, Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, whoever it might be, what are they already selling? How much is it already selling for, and how many units are they already selling? And then you need to understand, where do you fit in that with this product? Or is it something that you shouldn't pursue? But really, because that's the pitch that you need to be making when you're basically describing this product, talking through the product with the prospective licensing company, is in many cases they see the product and they say, yeah, it works. Okay, great. But that's not the big deal. The big deal is really being able to get it in the marketplace and having it valued and priced at the right amount so that everybody can make a profit on it. And you need to know that before you ever make your pitch.
Mike, we're going to have to take a short break. Just hold on that thought right there, my buddy. We're going to take a short break along with my guest. Well, my guest. Rita, I always say you're my guest. You're my co-host.
Well, you can flip a coin, because sometimes I am your guest and sometimes I'm your co-host.
We're going to take a short break. We're going to be right back right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network. This is the Invent America part of our show right here on the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. That's the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. I'm the Cajun Contractor along with my sidekick, Rita Crompton. We'll be right back. Yay!
USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HometalkUSA.com. one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
All right, welcome back. Don't forget we are streaming live on the World Wide Web at the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. Rita, our guest is Mr. Michael Miller. He was with a great company called Danco. We're basically talking about the other end of what the inventor can look for when they're trying to license their product to a manufacturer. We only got about a minute left, Mike, but anything else? Any advice you can give us?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things would certainly be if the inventors can get a place in a trade show, National Hardware Show, and actually that's coming up here in a few weeks, and it's combined with a number of other shows. It's just an absolutely great place for you to get in touch with everyone who...
Well, Mike, we're out of time. I hate to cut you off.
License.
I'm so sorry. We got to cut you off. We're getting ready to go. Rita, how can we reach Michael?
You know what? Same old, same old. Give me a call. Shoot me an email, and I'm more than happy to give you Mike's contact information.
All right, we're out of time. Thank you, Mike Miller. Thank you, my buddy. All right, this is the Cajun Man, along with Rita Crompton. See you next week. Yay!
Home Talk USA with Michael King is produced by Home Talk Media in association with King's Broadcasting Network and Genesis Communications Network. Broadcast and streamed live from the great state of Louisiana. Host and producer, the Cajun contractor, Michael King. Executive producer, Michael Mellinson. Affiliate and sponsor relations, Joe Spera. Comptroller, Sheila Gregoire. Assistant producer, Christian Bethencourt. Board operators provided by Genesis Communications Network. And I'm your announcer, Kevin McCarthy. Music includes King's Creole by Prolific Arts, Cajun Jam by StockMusic.com, and Zydeco City by Steve Rice. Home Talk USA with Michael King is sponsored by Bonide, pest solutions for your home, garden, and lawn. Decorators, take outdoor living beyond ordinary. Aztec Washer, innovative roofing solutions. Seal it right, seal it tight. Trimislab, replace rotten or missing wood with Trimislab expansion joint repair. Masonry Cosmetics, change the color of any porous masonry with proven masonry staining. Green Products Company, #1 in wood preservatives. Preserve, protect, and clean what you value, and most of all, make it last. Bond Products, manufacturers of InstaBind, the world's first do-it-yourself carpet binding solution. Deckrite, life is tough. Make your exterior flooring tougher. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Home Talk USA with Michael King. Until next time, visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com.
Yay!